Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Beyond World this one. My name is Diksha Bisla and this is Speed News. Let's take a look at all the top stories making headlines across the world. US President Donald Trump had stated that he will not allow Israel to annex the occupied West Bank, a move that Arab leaders have also strongly rejected. Trump made this announcement during a meeting with reporters in the Oval Office, emphasizing that he had discussed the issue with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This stance comes in response to suggestions from some Israeli officials that they might seize control of parts of West Bank, particularly after countries like the UK, Canada and Australia recognize Palestinian statehood. Israel has strongly criticized Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas for wearing a key-shaped pin during his UN address, claiming that it symbolizes his goal of erasing Israel. The key pin was a symbol for Palestinians, representing the right of return to those who were displaced during the 1948 Arab-Israeli conflict. Abbas wore the pin during the recorded speech at the UN General Assembly, where he addressed the international community on Palestinian rights and heritage. Abbas has rejected equating support for Palestine with anti-Semitism. A Spanish Navy vessel, the Führer, has set sail from Cartagena to support the Global Sumut Flotilla, a civilian-led initiative delivering aid to Gaza. The flotilla, comprising around 50 civilian boats, aims to breach Israel's naval blockade. Notably, Swedish climate campaigner Greta Thunberg is among the participants, and Italy has already deployed a frigate after the flotilla reported drone attacks in international waters near Greece, causing some damage but no injuries. Yemen's Houthis say Israeli strikes on Sana'a killed at least 8 people and wounded more than 140. The attacks targeted multiple locations, including residential areas and a detention facility, causing widespread damage and destruction. Footage showed buildings in ruins, rubble-strewn streets, and emergency responders searching for victims. At a hospital, medics were seen tending to injured people. These strikes come a day after Houthi rebels launched a drone attack on southern Israel. United States has approved a $1.23 billion sale of up to 400 advanced air-to-air missiles to Germany, a key NATO ally, to enhance its F-35 capabilities and support shared NATO planning and operational requirements. Now, this decision comes after German Chancellor Friedrich Merz vowed to take necessary measures against Russian military violations amid recent incidents of Russia sending fighter jets and drones to NATO members' airspace. The sale, which still requires US congressional approval, aims to improve Germany's defense readiness and reinforce NATO's collective security strategy. US President Donald Trump has signed an executive order allowing TikTok to continue operating in the United States. Addressing national security concerns, Trump joked about making the platform 100% MAGA, but emphasized that all philosophies and policies will be treated fairly. The new US company will be majority owned by American investors, with ByteDance holding less than 20% stake. Valuing TikTok at $14 billion, Vice President J.D. Vance said that the deal ensures that American investors will actually control TikTok's algorithm, determining content on the app. He said more information about the deal will be revealed in the coming weeks. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted on charges of making false statements and obstruction of justice. The indictment stems from Comey's 2020 testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee, where he allegedly lied about authorizing leaks to the media regarding the Russian investigation. This case marks the first time a former senior government official has been prosecuted in connection with Trump's grievances about the 2016 election probe. He faces up to 5 years in prison if convicted. Trump hailed the indictment, calling it justice in America. Madagascar's capital witnessed violent protests as citizens demanded an end to frequent water and electricity outages. Police fired tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse the crowd, resulting in at least 3 arrests. The protesters were largely mobilized on social media, drawing mostly young demonstrators who waved banners blaming the government for mismanaging the economy. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with International Atomic Energy Agency Director General Rafael Grossi at the Kremlin. Putin emphasized Russia's active role in addressing global nuclear challenges, while Grossi praised Russia's leadership in advancing nuclear energy projects worldwide through Rosatom. The meeting followed the World Atomic Forum in Moscow, which brought together leaders and representatives from various countries, including Belarus, Myanmar, Ethiopia, and Iran. The forum marked the 80th anniversary of Russia's nuclear industry, focusing on the future of nuclear technologies and sustainable development. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney welcomed Irish Tánaiste Taoiseach Michael Martin to Ottawa, highlighting the strong bonds between Canada and Ireland. With over 4.5 million Canadians of Irish descent, the two leaders emphasized their shared commitment to peace, reconciliation and economic cooperation. Since the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement took effect in 2017, bilateral trade has surged, with Canada-Ireland merchandise trade growing 98.5% by value. A devastating accident occurred in southern Peru involving a Bolivian musical group's minivan and 2 cargo trucks. According to reports, preliminary investigations suggested the minivan collided with the trailer, while a third parked trailer with heavy machinery obstructed the road. The crash resulted in 14 fatalities. Emergency services recovered the bodies and transported the injured to nearby health posts. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has warned that North Korea is in the final stages of developing an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of hitting the United States with a nuclear warhead. The only technological hurdle left to overcome is mastering atmospheric re-entry technology, which Lee believes North Korea is likely to resolve very soon. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense says it has detected 11 People's Liberation Army aircraft, 7 People's Liberation Army Navy vessels, and 1 official ship operating around Taiwan. It claimed that 9 PLA aircraft crossed the median line and entered Taiwan's Northern Air Defense Identification Zone. Taiwan's armed forces have responded accordingly to monitor and ensure the situation. China's Shenzhou 20 crew has successfully completed their 4th spacewalk, marking a significant milestone in their 6-month mission aboard the Tiangong space station. The astronauts worked outside the station for about 6 hours, completing tasks such as installing debris protection devices and inspecting internal equipment. The crew has stayed in orbit for more than 150 days, carrying out a large number of scientific experiments and technological tests. A tragic accident occurred at the WION Forest Monastery in northwestern Sri Lanka, where a cable-pulled rail car carrying Buddhist monks snapped and crashed down a mountainside. The incident resulted in the death of 7 monks, including 3 foreigners from India, Russia and Romania. According to reports, the monks had gathered at the monastery for meditation retreats. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar co-hosted the India-SICA Foreign Ministers meeting in New York with Panama's Foreign Minister Javier Martinez-Acha, focusing on strengthening ties in digital transformation, renewable energy, food and health security and climate change, building on the momentum of the 2023 dialogue in Panama City. The Indian Air Force officially decommissioned its last MiG-21 fighter jets at Air Force Station Chandigarh with a formal farewell ceremony and final flypast of the MiG-21 Bison from the number 23 Panther Squadron. The historic event marked the end of an era as the MiG-21, a supersonic fighter jet, had served the IAF for over 6 decades since its first induction in 1963. The ceremony was attended by key dignitaries including Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh and other military chiefs. On Thursday afternoon, emergency call services, including 911, were disrupted for more than 2 hours in Louisiana and Mississippi. Officials blamed damage to AT&T's fiber optic lines. The Mississippi Emergency Management Agency said the damage impacted 911 services statewide. In Louisiana, states including Baton Rouge and New Orleans also reported outages. Outage reports first surfaced around 2 p.m. local time. By 4:45, AT&T said its service had been restored. During the outage, law enforcement agencies across both states urged residents to call local phone numbers in case of an emergency. On September 5th, artificial intelligence company Anthropic agreed to pay $1.5 billion to a group of authors and publishers after a judge ruled it had illegally downloaded and stored millions of copyrighted books. A U.S. federal judge has now approved the deal. Under the agreement, Anthropic will pay about $3,000 per book, covering some 465,000 works. The payment does not extend to future publications. The involved parties assured the judge that the group negotiating the deal was not engaged in any backroom arrangements which could harm lesser-known authors. The American Association of Publishers called the settlement a major step in the right direction. Now, it is the largest payout ever in a U.S. copyright case. The U.S. government's Cyber Defense Agency has issued urgent guidance to other federal agencies over hackers exploiting a previously unknown vulnerability in Cisco security devices. In an emergency directive issued on Thursday, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said that the government cyber workers had just over 1 day to account for all such devices plugged into their networks, scan them for malicious activity, and apply relevant software updates intended to patch the vulnerability. The affected devices include a subset of Cisco Adaptive Security Appliance, 5500X series devices, which work as firewalls protecting corporate networks from hackers. American banking giant Citigroup has moved nearly 1,000 technology roles to its support centers in India, according to a Bloomberg report. Well, this follows the group's announcement earlier this year that it would cut around 3,500 jobs at its technology centers in China as part of a global effort to simplify and shrink global tech operations to improve risk and data management. This also comes amid the United States President Donald Trump's led administration, which has imposed a whopping $100,000 fee on new H-1B visa applications. A viral app called Neon, which offers to record your phone calls and pay you for the audio so it can sell that data to AI companies, has gone offline after a major security flaw exposed users' phone numbers, call recordings and transcripts. The issue was discovered by news website TechCrunch, which found that Neon's servers let any logged-in user access others' data through public links. WION founder Alex Kiam was alerted about the breach, after which the app's servers were shut down and users were informed about a temporary pause. And just when the rupee found 2 days of calm, another storm rolled in. This time, it's President Donald Trump's latest tariff move that has left markets rattled. New industry-specific tariffs include imported pharma, upholstered furniture, heavy trucks, kitchen cabinets and bathroom vanities. However, lack of detail is threatening to drag sentiment further into negative territory. For the rupee, already hovering close to record lows, the new tariffs come as yet another blow. If the tariff move wasn't enough, a fresh set of US economic releases has added more pressure. With data and tariffs pushing the dollar higher, the rupee faces resistance at 89 per dollar, while support lies near 88.40. Asian markets stumbled on Friday after US President Donald Trump announced a fresh wave of tariffs on key imports, including 100% duties on branded drugs and hefty tariffs on trucks, kitchen cabinets and furniture, all set to start from October 1st. Japan's Topix Pharma Index fell 1.4% and shares of Australian biotech firm CSL dropped over 3%. The Nikkei declined 0.5%, while broader Asia-Pacific shares were also lower. Markets also reacted to reduced expectations of aggressive US Federal Reserve rate cuts, following stronger than expected economic data that highlighted the resilience of the US economy. Traders now price in fewer rate cuts by year-end, weighing on risk appetite and lifting the US dollar, which hovered near 150 yen. Gold is set for its 6th straight weekly gain, driven by a cautious market mood and strong inflows into gold-backed ETFs. Investors are seeking safe havens amid geopolitical tensions and concerns over the US economy. Spot gold is trading near record highs as demand for stability rises. Gold ETFs have attracted significant investment, highlighting growing confidence in gold as a secure asset during economic uncertainty. This ongoing trend shows that many investors prefer gold to shield themselves from market volatility. Pakistan have set up an Asia Cup final showdown with India after defeating Bangladesh by 11 runs. This will be the first time the two teams face each other in an Asia Cup final, but it's their third time meeting in the tournament this year. Bangladesh won the toss and opted to bowl first. They managed to restrict Pakistan to 135 for 8. However, Bangladesh struggled with the bat. Pakistan's player ripped through Bangladesh's bowling attack and they eventually fell short, finishing on 124 for 9. The final between India and Pakistan will take place on Sunday. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Speed News. But don't go anywhere. More news and updates will follow on the other side. You're watching WION World is One. Stay tuned.